up on NFL Primetime. We'll sweep you off your feet. Terrell Davis and the Broncos dominating in Foxboro. Steve Bono and the Chiefs singing the right tune against the Bears. The Panthers get the controversial call in St. Louis. It's Week 12, but the Jets still can't find their footing, while the Lions were looking to get a grip against the surging Seahawks. Jim Kelly and the Bills were all fired up for the Bengals. Last Sunday was Boomer's big day. Would it be all smiles at home in Phoenix? Junior looks to make the Bucs say ow this afternoon in San Diego. And are Jerry Rice and company taking a long look into their future? The NFL's leading rookie rusher trying to excite the Houston crowd. NFL Primetime coming at you next. Again, everybody, we're doing the T-Berry Shuffle. We're just shuffling our papers here. I'm Chris Berman. Welcome to Week 12 of NFL Primetime. And some shuffling there was to help us shuffle off to Buffalo and other places. Tom Jackson and the judge, Bill Pidto. First, let's get you caught on those late games around the NFL. Elvis Grbac, and more about him in a moment, much to the chagrin of Mayor Willie Brown in San Francisco, has just scored on a one-yard sneak. It's now a final. The 49ers have, quote the Ravens, nevermore, 38-20. Welcome those of you that have watched the Niners win by 18 in the rain at .com Park. Tampa Bay and San Diego, the Buccaneers are 1-19 on the West Coast in their lifetime, but they're ahead of the Chargers 22-17 at the 2-minute warning thanks to Eric Rett's one-yard run with 6 minutes to go. Arizona lost to the Giants a couple of weeks ago. They come home. They're trying to beat them. 31-20, the Cardinals over the Giants. Boomer Esiason has become the second coming of Norm Van Brocklin. Brown to Wheatley for a touchdown, but still the Cardinals lead that by 11 with 4 minutes to go. And Al Del Greco has kicked a field goal with 3:20 to go of 33 yards to tie the Dolphins-Oilers game at 20. But we understand that the Dolphins inside the 10-yard line, under 2 minutes to go in this game. So a game that saw Houston jump out to an early lead. The Dolphins now have a chance to perhaps win it at the end within 100 miles of Jimmy Johnson's hometown of Port Arthur, Texas. Well, the Minnesota Vikings had a wonderful month of September. The Oakland Raiders had a wonderful month of October. The problem, as they get set for our ESPN Sunday night game in Oakland, is that it's now November. It's a lot colder than both of those months, and neither team playing the way they did in those particular months. So a game of urgency, certainly. So as Mike Patrick and Joe Theismann and Mark Malone get set at Oakland, we go out to Mark Malone, and he says the teams have got to get moving now. Mark?
Well, Boomer, it's been a rather bizarre 24 hours here in Oakland. Torrential rains and high winds knocked out a transformer over at the Coliseum, the facility here in the stadium. It was without electricity until 2:10 Pacific time this afternoon. Fans were asked to stay outside the stadium, players at their hotels for a brief time. In fact, they even contemplated delaying the game, but it looks like now we'll get this game underway on time. As far as the matchup, 4-6 Oakland and 5-5 Minnesota. Both teams desperately need a win to keep their fading playoff hopes alive.
It's desperation time. I mean, it definitely is. I mean, we're 4-6. If we have any hope of making to the playoffs, you know, we got to run the table.
See, we were 1-4, and at 1-4, we had dug ourselves in a gigantic hole. And at that time, we talked about each game being a must-win. So nothing's really changed.
Field conditions will be a factor. They had a tarp on this field the last 24 hours, but they took it off about 3 o'clock Pacific time this afternoon. It's been raining ever since. Winds are expected to gust up to 30 miles an hour. That might favor the Oakland Raiders, Chris, because their offensive line outweighs the Minnesota defensive front by almost 40 pounds a man.
All right, Mark, thank you. And we get set. It looks like a wild day out in the Bay Area, but happy to know that football will be on time. Michael Kamahostas has just kicked a field goal for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, a short one. The Bucs now lead the Lightning Bolts at the Murph by 8 with just over a minute to go. Chargers about to receive the kickoff. They obviously need the touchdown and the two-point conversion just to send the game into overtime. We shall keep you posted. Plenty to show you on Week 12 of NFL Primetime. Saints and Falcons. Well, are they playing for the draft pick? What happened? Broncos and Patriots aren't playing for draft pick. They might be playing for a Super Bowl berth.
It works just like a check, only better. And by Dunlop Tires. Handle it.
They were expansion teams in the 60s. The Falcons and Saints looked like expansion teams in the 90s. 3 wins among them. Jim Everett off the back foot, picked off by Cornelius Bennett. Saints possession. Everett, the handoff. Ray Sellers fumble. Ron George recovers for the Falcons. 3rd possession for the Saints. Jim Everett picked off by Brad Edwards. 2 interceptions in the game. They only have 3 all year to the Falcons.
Yeah, and you notice every pass he throws off the back foot, Boom.
Here, Bobby Hebert's passed on by Eric Metcalf. Tips it right to Alex Molden. Only the Saints' 3rd interception all year. Well, under a minute to play in the first half. Hebert gets away from Joe Johnson, finds Terrence Mathis, and chances are it's a touchdown. The Falcons lead at 17-3. Hebert, look at Hebert with the stiff arm.
Yeah, nice job of stiff arming and then trying to get rid of the ball with the left hand. That pass was incomplete.
But it was a hell of an effort by Hebert. Then Saints down 17-6. Jim Everett to Lorenzo Neal. He's wide open. It's a 20-yard touchdown. Saints trail 17-12. They're going to go for 2. Tom, and what happens?
We're going to see Lester Archambault here show you what penetration can do to a double handoff. Coming back off the wing with Torrance Small, he hits him in the backfield for a big loss.
All right, so the score is 17-15, 11 seconds to go. The Saints have one last throw. Jim Everett's got a step. Oh, he's falling back on a Hail Mary. They don't even have a chance to knock it down. Oh, Rick Venturi has seen another loss. As this time the Falcons, even the Saints mark at 2-9. 17-15, Atlanta wins it. Tom, when we cover the draft, we'll be hearing from these teams early.
Yeah, and the Falcons today did a couple of things they have to do to be successful. The interceptions and turnovers and get Eric Metcalf involved in your offensive game.
Both Hebert and Everett, numbers were pretty good. Hebert, 26 of 39 for 229 as the Falcons beat his old team, the New Orleans Saints. When we return. The Panthers, that's right, the Panthers thinking playoffs, but the Rams, boy, after that 59-point outburst, what could they come up with? Seahawks and Lions. Would it be a Rasputin game for Wayne Fonts?
Sweepstakes. Ben Winter coats. Eric sleeping with the enemy.
For a chance to win a trip for 2 to the 1997 Super Bowl, watch NFL Primetime tonight at 7 p.m. Write down a Berman nickname you hear and call the number shown. Watch NFL Primetime and your nickname could be prize winner. Visa, the official card of the NFL, presents ESPN's Name Game Sweepstakes.
We can't hear you.
That looks like Art Donovan sitting there impersonating me for those nicknames. Well, we'd like to welcome those of you that have watched Joe Nittany kick a field goal as time expired in the Astrodome, 29 yards. The Dolphins beat the Houston Oilers on the road, 23-20. So welcome aboard. Highlights later on NFL Primetime. Well, who knows anymore with the St. Louis 59 points last week, but we know about Carolina Panthers here. Could make the playoffs.
How about this game? One thing to keep in mind, the Rams last week scored 59 points against an Atlanta team that beat Carolina in Week 10. As Panthers coach Dom Capers says, if that doesn't get our guys' attention, nothing will. With Kerry Collins out with a bad shoulder, Steve Berline gets a start, and it was Berline who engineered the Panthers' win over San Francisco in Week 4. So Collins, baseball cap backwards, you know that means you're not going to play. Berline had his problems, fumbling the exchange right there. Then Berline. This is 3rd start of the season. Almost tripped trying to hand off to Anthony Johnson. Berline's on his feet here, but picked off by Todd Light. Dicey first half for Steve Berline. See the numbers right there. Rams had their problems as well. Eddie Kennison, leading punt returner in the National Football League. I got it. I don't have it. I'm bumped into by Jeremy Lincoln. In this game, 19 penalties. We got one here. We got one there. We got one here. We got penalties everywhere. 3rd quarter, Panthers down 7. Berline, Wesley Walls. Touchdown or not? Well, refs talk among themselves. Tommy, they discussed.
Yeah, and Billy, we have benefit of a slow motion instant replay. Looks like he has it long enough here. You're a ref. You're looking at it at full speed. It's a judgment call. I think we have to trust the ref's decision. Touchdown.
Ties the game at 10. Later in the 3rd quarter, Anthony Johnson, 27 carries, 123 yards, and this 7-yard touchdown. Panthers up 17-10.
We're tired.
Lamar Lathan here in at Tony Banks. Dirty or not, Tom?
Well, certainly a questionable call. It looked like Lamar saw the ball gone and then rolled into Tony Banks, but the intent will have to be judged by the players.
Banks came out but did return into the game. However, Carolina wins it 20-10. Carolina now with 7 wins. 6 of the wins have come against teams from their own division. Just Carolina's 2nd road win of the season and their 4th road win in 14 tries all time. So much for the Rams' offensive juggernaut. Tommy, the Panthers are now 7-4. If the playoffs were to start today, they'd be in the postseason.
Yeah, and it's a team, Billy, that's built for success. I think we saw early on in that highlight package that Steve Berman did not have an outstanding day at quarterback. But you get the 100 yards from Anthony Johnson, and you have a defense that will keep you in the game. And I think that when I talk with Dom Capers, when I talk with Bill Polian, who's the general manager for the Panthers, they talk about staying in games and giving yourself a chance to win at the end. And they did that today, Boom.
Nobody minds hearing from the Dell Vikings, do they? Well, I'll tell you what, it's this time every year, Tom and Billy, that we have to explain the saga of Rasputin. We have been here before. Rasputin was an intriguing man who was in the court of the last Tsar and Tsarina of Russia before the Communist Revolution in 1917. Nicholas and Alexandra, they had a son who had hemophilia. Rasputin was a man that supposedly had unique powers that could cure their son. He won favors in the court, although everyone else around the Tsar and Tsarina was nervous for everyone else's health. So those around the Tsar and Tsarina tried to kill him. They tried everything. They poisoned his food. They shot the legs out from horses underneath him. Everything they tried, none of it worked. Rasputin was a man that could not be killed and stayed in with close to the Tsar. Now, we've moved forward to 1996. I butchered that tale a little bit, but I'm not going to butcher this one. The head coach of the Detroit Lions, Wayne Fontes. Football's Rasputin. 4 straight losses for Wayne Fontes and the Lions. They're going up against the Seahawks, who were without Chris Warren. First quarter, his replacement, Lamar Smith, who needs Chris Warren today, right? 18-yard run. Later in the drive, Smith, where's the defense? 20 carries, 100 yards in the first half alone, and there's the touchdown, Tom.
Yeah, offensive line on the right side. Watch the parting of the Red Sea right there. That highlight by Cecil B. the Gonzalez, special effects.
Lions trailing 10-7 in the third quarter. Here's what they need. Barry Sanders, look at him dart. Look at him go outside. Look at him go inside the 20, inside the 10-yard line. A 40-yard gain, 7 carries, 81 yards in the second half for Sanders. Next play, Don Majkowski throwing economically today. Playing for the injured Scott Mitchell to Herman's Moore. 6-yard touchdown. Lions lead 14-13. Meanwhile, John Freeze took a pounding all day long. He got tangled up with Kevin Mawe, who did it Mawe. Unfortunately, Freeze went down. Luther Ellis lands on top of him. Freeze replaced by the benched Rick Meyer. No time to wallow in the mire. Let's give it to Smith. But it's a fumble. But it's another fumble. And Smith recovers his own fumble. Then 4th and 10. Meyer to Carlester Crumpler, one of the best names in football. 17 yards and a first down. The owner, William Clay Ford of the Lions. Oh, my goodness. Am I going to have to do it this year? 42 yards. Todd Peterson, it's good. No! It's no good. Are you kidding? Peterson came with Wayne Fontes watches. Oh, we've lost. No! We've won 17-16. Here it is. Watch the holder, Rick Rootin' Tootin'. The kick is up for 42. It's good. No question. What happens? It hangs right at the 5-yard line. Wayne Fontes embraced on the sideline. One Rasputin game played in '96. He survived it again. They have spiked his Gatorade. They've put acid in his shower. They've short-sheeted his bed. You can't kill Wayne Fontes. Football's Rasputin. Lions 17. Seahawks 16. Oh, man, when we return, we look forward to several more of those this year. I'll try and shorten up that story, too. Bills and Bengals. The Bills on a roll. Eagles and Skins for first place in the NFC East. Sunday night game against the Vikings. A wet day in the Bay. A big game for both clubs if they're thinking playoffs. Welcome back to NFL Primetime. Let me tell you the story about Rasputin. No, that was the last time. The Cincinnati Bengals are 3-0 under new coach Bruce Coslett, but they were going into Buffalo now. So we've told you the last couple of weeks, nobody circles the wagons like the Buffalo Bills, all right? That was done. The wagons are circled. This time at Rich Stadium, the cry in Buffalo, wagons ho. They're moving forward, taking no prisoners. Bruce Coslett looking to go 4-0. No Bengals coach has ever done that in his first 4 games. Jim Kelly to Andre Reed for a first down. Buffalo already up 7-0. Next play, Kelly to Thurman Thomas. He has that scoot again, Tommy. Another first down. And look at the blocking here.
Yeah, watch Ramondo Stallings here get outside, throw a nice block for Thurman. And Thurman still with that quickness boom, the nice footwork on the cut, and able to power past that first tackler. Everything you look for in a running back.
4th and 6, Marv Levy says, let's go for it. And Big Daddy Dan Wilkinson gives them a big break. He's offside, and now it's 4th and 1. So that changes the play calling a little bit. Would have given it to the power man, Derek Holmes. Boom. First down. Now, same drive, but we've shifted quarters. Second quarter, the give is to Thermal. He goes left side, and he scoots inside the 7-yard line. Another first down. 3rd and goal, Jim Kelly stacked up. You know, Jim got a touchdown the other week. He wants another one. Marv says 4th down, of course. Kelly calls his own number. Hit a little bit late. He takes exception to it. But the Bills up 14-0 after a 19-play drive that took almost 8 minutes and covered 92 yards. Now, Kelly's thrown an interception to Ambrose to make it 14-7. Kajana Carter gets the lateral, fumbles it, picks it up, fumbles it, and David White playing for the injured Bryce Pup. Good, go, oh, no, wait, wasn't that long a play. After the hit by Spielman and shoot.
Yeah, and the hit made by Chris Spielman, you watch it here. Kajana Carter tried to switch the ball right there. We didn't get a good look at it, but that's just as important as the pickup by David White.
24-7 in the 3rd quarter, Buffalo. Kelly to Steve Tisker and Tasker. He's in the end zone, 22 yards. Boy, Tasker's such a reliable receiver for Jim Kelly.
Yeah, and take another look at the coverage. You see the corner and the safety converge on Quinn early, leave Tasker to the outside, put a nice little jaunt to the end zone.
The Bills have something to celebrate. They have a big defensive day. You saw the defensive touchdowns. They had 7 sacks, 1.5 of them by Bruce Smith. The Bengals just 224 yards in offense. And the Bills have won again, winning by the count of 31-17. They have won 3 straight, Tommy, and they look like a different ball club these days.
Well, they are a different ball club, and I think they're doing things a little bit differently. We knew that the Bengals would have a difficult time running the football against the Buffalo Bills, and they did today. That translates into pressure on the quarterback, and I think when we look at the 7 sacks and the ability to run the football, Buffalo is back to doing the things that made them successful early, and they take a little pressure off Jim Kelly with the running game.
Last 5 games of the Bills, after they were skunked in that 21-7 loss to Miami, they're 4-1 in the 5 games. They've averaged about 29 points a game. Let our quarterback call some plays. Let's spread out the offense a little bit. Let's run the ball. I know we're going a little faster than they want, but the Bills are getting the victories, and now they're in good position in the AFC East when we return. Plenty more in NFL Primetime. Bears and Chiefs. Could the Chiefs keep going after last week's win over the Pack? Skins and Eagles who top the NFC East. Terry Allen and Ricky Waters. Who would out?
It's Minnesota and Oakland on ESPN Sunday Night NFL.
Come on, you wussies, get those legs up!
The Bears and the Chiefs. Dave Craig faced the Chiefs many times as a Seahawk quarterback, played for the Chiefs, was 13-9 as a starter, now comes in as a Bears quarterback, and he likes Raymond Harris. 14-yard touchdown, 7-0 Chicago.
And yet the strength of this Chiefs team is their defense. Here you see Raymond Harris going to be stuffed by Anthony Davis, and then on the next possession, a key 3rd down and 2, Martin Bayless going to track him. Raymond Harris to the outside for no gain right there.
We're 7-7 in the 2nd quarter, and a key 3rd and 1 play. Kansas City running the ball so well the last couple of weeks. Marcus Allen, big hole on the right side, picks up a first down. Next play, Bono, the nice fake to Allen, the pitch to Kimball Anders. Jack B. Kimball, Jack B. Quick, Kimball Anders into the end zone with a candlestick. 14-7 the Chiefs. Just over 2.5 minutes to go in the 2nd quarter. Danon Hughes on the wide receiver screen to Sean LaChapelle. That Hughes to LaChapelle passing combination so dangerous in Chief annals. Second half, more of the same for Raymond Harris, Sally Amu, and Derek Thomas at first down. Next play, it's Tracy Simeon and more defense.
Yeah, and you watch this team here get after it as far as the running game here. Derek Thomas in on the hit right there. Washington in on the hit.
To 35 yards rushing. Remember, they had a 14-yard touchdown run, so you know what kind of defense it was. What about the secondary, Tom?
Yeah, and watch Mark Collins here get the double dip. Right there with the hit on the ball, and then has the presence of mind to grab it for a recovery.
All right, 4th quarter. Once upon a time, Derek Thomas sacked Dave Craig 7 times for an NFL record. That was in 1990. Here he makes a sack, and Craig has been sacked more than any quarterback in the history of the NFL. Just to make sure, Derek adds another one in the 4th quarter. 4 minutes to go. The score 14-10, though. The Bears knocking. Craig Throws it deep. Mark Collins is there at the goal line to make the interception, his 5th of the year. And again, the Bears are denying late at an AFC West opponent's goal line. And the Chiefs beat them by the count of 14-10. The key stat, as Kansas City ups their mark to 8-3, the Bears held to just 35 yards rushing in 19 carries. Big game of the day, in the NFC, was the battle for first in the East between the Redskins and the Eagles. They come in the day tied. Ray Rhodes, 2 pennies in each shoe. 1 heads, 1 tails, just for good luck. Derek Witherspoon kickoff, tackled by James Jenkins. The problem is Patrice Alexander comes in with a hit, and this time it's Washington special teams. You figure they have an advantage over Philly. They hurt the Skins there. Second quarter, still 3-0 Redskins, though. Gus Frerotte. Jamie Asher out of his hands to Troy Vincent, and it ends the Redskins' red zone streak. They had scored a field goal or touchdown on every time in there. Ricky Waters fumbles. Rod Stevens forced it. Ken Harvey recovers. 3rd and 8. Frerotte to Jamie Asher. This time from ashes to Asher. Last time he couldn't catch it. This time he catches it. And Tom, it's 10-7.
Yeah, some people would call this a pick. I call it a deep rub. Henry Ellard on the outside, runs deep. Look at the safety trying to get the coverage on Asher. He's going to end up about 5 yards short because of that nice rub by Ellard.
Rodney Peete watching as Ty Detmer is 4-1 as a starter. Here's the swing to Ricky Waters. He's going to pick up 28 yards. 7 plays later, Detmer to Chris T. Jones on the cross for 19 yards. And want to get a good shot? Try this one. Focus and click. That sets up a 1st and goal. Waters making up for an earlier mistake. It's a touchdown. And now it's 10-7. I lied before. 3rd quarter, still 13-7. Skins. Terry Allen breakthrough, 17 yards. 3rd straight year that Allen has gained 1,000 yards. What a great story. His comeback from his knee surgeries. Same drive, 2nd and goal. And this is Asher again. Sometimes he was great, sometimes he was horrible.
Yeah, almost for every one he caught, he dropped one.
Well, here's one that he caught, and it was a touchdown. 7 yards, 20-7, Skins. Charlie Garner seeing some spot duty in the 3rd for Ricky Waters, and look at him dart back and forth for 10 yards. And then watch Garner on the next play against Darrell Green.
You used the right word, Chris. Dart, a great change of pace for the Eagles here. The nice stiff arm on Darrell Green to the outside. Maintains his balance right there. Goes for the extra yardage, gets 22 on the play.
3 plays later, 2nd and 8 on the 13. Detmer to Chris T. Jones. It's T touchdown. 20-14. The Eagles now within 6. The Redskins have kicked a field goal, making 23-14. Detmer to Jason Dunn. It's well done. The flags are against the Skins. It set up a Waters touchdown, 23-21. Now, 26-21. Last chance for the Eagles. Off the hands of Irving Fryer. Detmer on 2nd down. Throws it out of bounds. On 3rd down. Chris T. Jones can't quite hold on. 4th down. Last chance. Seconds left. Freddie Solomon defense by Tom Carter. The Eagles, after 8 straight wins over the Redskins, have finally lost in a game of big-time magnitude. The Eagles lose at home to the Skins, 26-21. And as a result, the Redskins own a 1-game lead over Philadelphia in the NFC East. A big win for the Washington Redskins, and the Eagles have to be disappointed, Tommy.
Well, I think certainly the Eagles are a team that aimed at the Dallas Cowboys and aimed at the Dallas Cowboys, and then suddenly at some point they find themselves not emotionally ready to play, and I think that's part of what happened to them against the Bills and the Redskins. Talking about the Redskins, it's a team that gave up just over 350 yards today. That's 200 better than they did the last couple of weeks, so they are making progress.
I think it was a major statement for Norv Turner, who has a contending team that had given up, what, 75 points, Tommy, the last 2 weeks. He stopped the bleeding. We know Ray Rhodes can do it. Now we know Norv can do it.
On the road.
Yes, and he and Gus Frerotte seemed to be in sync the entire day. Neither Waters nor Allen had 90 yards on the game, so tough defense. We go inside the numbers. We told you Dave Craig has now been sacked more than any other quarterback in the history of the NFL. Well, that's going to happen if you play a long time. Derek Thomas doing the duty with 2 today. And that means that Craig has been sacked. This is a record he probably doesn't really want. But he's up there on a lot of other good lists. 485 times he's been sacked. That's 2 more than Sir Francis, a few more than Philathiem, and Craig Morton, the only other quarterback to be sacked over 400 times.
Inside the Numbers is brought to you by Visa, the preferred card of the NFL. It's everywhere you want to be.
When we return, the Jags have been tough on the Steelers, beating them 2 out of 3. Would the Steelers have too much rush today? Big game in the AFC, the Broncos and the Patriots. Denver taking no prisoners. Maybe he can if the Vikings play the Raiders after NFL Primetime. The Steelers and the Jaguars at Three Rivers Stadium. Tom Coughlin's Jags have upset the Steelers 2 of the 3 meetings they've had. But Mark Brunell was upset by Jason Gildon. Joel Steve recovers on the 3. Next play, Cordell in, but it's a straight hand up to Jerome Bettis. 1, 2, 3, 4 Jaguars on his back. Will Wolford with the block. 14-0 Steelers. Scarying moment. Orpheus Roy hits Michael Cheever. He goes down, arms frozen, suffered a concussion. Did not return, but was on the bench later on, so at least the sighting was better than that. Third quarter, the Steelers lead at 14-3. Brunell comes alive. Willis Jackson for 17 yards, Tom, over the middle. But then, Steeler defense.
Well, a great job of the Steelers here, putting more men at the line of scrimmage than you can block. Carnell Lake comes through, makes a nice hit on Brunell, gets the fumble. Not only did they not block Carnell, they didn't block the guys who are blocking for him as he's going down the field. 5 touchdowns the last 10 games for the Steeler defense. They can do that to the chagrin of Coughlin. So it's 21-3 now in the third quarter. On this day, Andre, well, a bad moon was rising. Because what happens? Brunell throws it, Dion figures it out, and Figures steps up, picks off the 3rd turnover of the day. Afterwards, Brunell not happy with Rison. Tom, what happened here? Yeah, and we take a look at why on the replay here. You see the nice little inside seam pattern by Rison. He does everything right, except look back for the football. Lets Figures pick it off.
Well, in the meantime, Cowher pretty happy with Dion Figures. 2nd and 9 from the 27. Mike Tomczak pumps, then goes deep the left side to Yancey Thigpen. 2nd touchdown of the day for Yancey. Rison and the Jags, well, not on this day. Not after the Steelers gave up all those first downs last week and were embarrassed by the Bengals. The Steelers win at 28-3 to up their mark now to 8-3 and really take command in that AFC Central Division. 9-1 Denver at 7-3 New England. 2 division leaders, 2 Super Bowl hopefuls. Well, here's the question. In the AFC, would either of these 2 teams be Jackson Browns and say a prayer for the pretender? Or would either of these 2 teams step up and be on the waterfront? Because they could be somebody. They could be contenders. And here we go from Foxboro. A little early on, Corwin Brown says, hey, Alan, what's he doing wearing 57 anyway for Denver? Tom Tupelo Honey. She's as sweet as Tupelo Honey was the pass, but Teddy Bruschi needs to fire a couple of them down because he dropped the pass on Bill Parcells' gamble.
Yeah, and you see Tupa roll out here and a little bit shorter in the pattern. There's Dave Maggott. He tries to go a little bit deeper to Bruschi, not as good a hands, can't hold on to the football, takes the hit immediately.
So Denver takes over 3rd down at the 15. Elway to Terrell Davis over the middle, the quick pass in the flat. Look at the move that he makes at the 10, and it's a touchdown. 7-0 B-Man. The Patriots' next possession, first play. Drew Bledsoe. Nice play fake. Bad pass. Steve Atwater picks him off, and the big fella's going to return at 14 yards until a little bit of excitement here. It's a fumble. Terry Glenn forces it, but it's out of bounds. Denver keeps the ball.
And Chris, as you said, beautiful play fake right there by Drew Bledsoe. Just doesn't seem to see Atwater underneath. Ball comes up a little short. Steve turns going the other way.
So the Broncos 1st and goal now from inside the 10. Terrell Davis runs left. Look at the cutback at the 5, and then in the end zone, very quickly, the Broncos have established a 14-0 lead.
Yeah, and a great job by this offensive line of blocking and creating some seams. And then Terrell Davis, nice job of waiting on the blocks and then powering through people at the goal line.
Brian Habib, Broderick Thompson, big blocks. And then early 2nd quarter, Davis runs right. He dribbles it like what David Thompson used to do for the Denver Nuggets. Doesn't matter. It's a touchdown. 3 Davis touchdowns, 21-0 Denver.
And actually a perfect dribble by Terrell. Ball gets a nice bounce right there, and he's headed for the end zone, and not exactly the way you draw it up.
Well, let's see. First half, we get 3 touchdowns. We get 74 yards rushing. We get over 100 overall. And then little flavor from 8-4, Shannon Sharp. Little flavor from some defense here on Denver.
Yeah, Alfred Williams, great job right there pressuring Drew Bledsoe and then not throwing him down so he'd earn the penalty.
Late in the 2nd quarter, Elway is pressure. This is one of the few times the Patriots defense stepped up. Chris Slade, Mama, we're all crazy now, comes up with the sack. Elway comes up shaking his hand. Musgrave had to play a few plays, but in the 3rd quarter, John was back. Broncos lead 24-8. Fakes, Then a little screen to Davis. We'll look at them. Skip around to tackle here. Lawyer Malloy leads Nolo Contandre on the play. It's 19 yards. 3rd and 5 from the 15. Davis takes the pitch, runs back, cuts at the 10, then dips the shoulder. He's down at the 1-yard line, setting up an Elway sneak. 31-8, Denver.
Yeah, and take a look at Gary Zimmerman here as he gets outside right there, maintains his push on Jimmy Hitchcock and Chris Slade to create a nice seam for Terrell right there. And again, always running through that first tackler.
Well, Hitchcock, Wheeler, the Hitchcock, it was kind of a horror film for New England. Shannon, whoa, it's cold. It is cold, but it's sweet, as the Broncos make no mistake to up their mark to 10-1 as they clobber the Patriots 34-8. John Elway, regular season starts against New England 8-0. Yeah, the 1-0 in the playoffs. He is perfect, 9 for 9. And the Broncos, they sliced the Patriots, and afterwards, Bill Parcells knew it.
We were completely outclassed today. We had no chance to ever win the game. Very disappointed with the way the team performed. I thought we'd do better than that. I don't know exactly, or I can't put my finger on why we responded the way it is. Maybe it was the pressure of a big game. Maybe we're just not ready for that. I don't know. I'm not drawing any conclusions from it other than we got our butts whipped today every way possible.
Well, Bill knows, and anybody watching the game, Tommy knows, and as you like to say sometimes, I'm going to say it since it's Denver, the AFC, they have a contender. We have a contender for to win the Super Bowl.
Well, I think when you look at the Denver Broncos, you see the best balanced football team that the Denver Broncos have ever had. Today, John Elway didn't put up tremendous numbers. He threw for 175 yards. Shannon Sharp wasn't as key as was Anthony Miller in this football game. Terrell Davis is the key to their squad, his ability to run the ball, take pressure off people offensively. And I think exactly what we thought as we looked at this game. Yes, both offenses were pretty potent, but I think when we looked at the defenses, we saw a definite advantage for the Denver Broncos.
Yeah, Terrell Davis, 154 yards rushing, 422 to 218 yards. Anyway, look at the numbers. It was all Denver. As we go inside the numbers, look at the change in rushing. 2 years ago in '94, they averaged 92 yards a game. They ranked near the bottom. Last year, Terrell Davis came on the scene, 125 yards a game. They ranked 5th. So far this year, through 11 games, 165 yards a game on the ground, ranked tops in the NFL. One of the reasons why the Broncos have the best record in the National Football League. When we return, a team that often has that record, the Niners, could they get back? And Dan Marino and the Oilers, a game that went down to the wire.
Ford Explorer has been...
Tim Brown and the Raiders at home in our Sunday night game. Stay with us at the top of the hour. Vikings at the Raiders following NFL Primetime. The judge, Bill Pidto, back with us. Look at that, Super Bowl III. Just remember, can you remember that? Watching today's game, did you remember it?
It's a long time ago. Not much correlation, I don't think.
Right. I think that's safe to say.
The Colts began the season 4-0, but 5 losses in 6 games leaves them in peril at 5-5. Only one Colt has a Super Bowl ring. Richard Dent, the former Bear, who called the players-only meeting this week, says, Dent, right now we need a win bad. The Colts beat the Jets 21-7 in Week 2, but New York's offense is much improved, averaging over 26 points a game in the last 3 games. To the activity. Second quarter, Jets down 10-3. Frank Reich, Jeff Graham, he had a huge game. This play, 52 yards. Jets, though, missed a point after. They're down 10-9. Tommy, what do you have?
We're going to see Lamont Warren here make a nice run through a seam, step over some people. But then Victor Green, we've seen more of this year than in any previous year. Knocks the ball out from behind. Chad Cascaden comes up, recovers for the Jets.
Neil O'Donnell still out with the shoulder injury. Man, we got lucky there. Jets down 16-15, third quarter. Reich picked off by Eugene Daniel, the 13-year veteran. Brings it back 35 yards. And touchdown. Colts up 23-15. Fourth quarter, Jets down 26-21. Reich to Graham again. Another touchdown. Graham, a huge ball game. 9 catches, 189 yards, 3 touchdowns. And that makes for an unhappy Colt. Still in the fourth, Jim Harbaugh from Palo Alto High School. That's critical information. Tommy left me hanging.
Aces, Tom, aces.
That set up a field goal. Rich Kotite says, oh boy, and here's a field goal. Terry Blanchard, his 4th field goal of the game, 50 yards. Colts up 34-29. Late fourth, 4th and 15. Can the Jets come back? Reich Keyshawn Johnson, one of his 5 catches on 4th and 15, first down. Kotite says, let's go. One last chance, final seconds. Jets down 34-29. Tommy, what do you got to do?
You got to knock it down.
What do you got to do?
And if you're Keyshawn Johnson, you got to catch it. Right there.
Almost caught it. Watch it again as Keyshawn Johnson, oh so close to a miracle. As it is, the Colts hold on to win it by the final score of 34-29. The Colts force 5 turnovers. They pick off Frank Reich 4 times. A critical win for the Colts, who snapped a 4-game losing streak. They have won 16 of the last 20 against the Jets. For the 6th time in the last 8 years, the Jets will finish a season with at least 10 losses. Next stop, Giants and the Cardinals. The Cardinals defense is focused. First quarter, Giants down 7-zip. Dave Brown, one of his better games this season, but here picked off by Aeneas Williams. Cardinals take advantage, 2nd and 10. Boomer Esiason to Larry Centers, the leading receiver in the National Football League. And Centers is the center of attention. Look at this. How is he not going down? Eventually, he will go down. It sets up a touchdown. Cards go up 14-0. Giants having problems. 1st and goal, Rodney Hampton goes nowhere. 2nd and goal, Brown rolls right. Charles Way finds a way for 7 yards. First play, 2nd quarter, same drive, 3rd and goal. Brown tripped by his own man. Giants settle for a field goal. 14-3 at this point. Cards, Tom.
Yeah, and let's take a look at the Giants here on some goal line possessions. First down, Tyrone Wheatley. They're going to lose 2 on the running game. And then back to the middle of the football field for a 2-yard pickup, which is canceled out by no gain right there. So not real imaginative thinking there on the goal line.
3rd quarter, Giants punt. The ball goes off Marcus Dowdell's face mask. Giants recover the Cardinal 14. 3rd and goal for the Giants. Brown to Tyrone Wheatley, who's back from the concussion. Touchdown. Giants down 21-13. 4th quarter, it's 28-13. Cardinals. LaShawn Johnson fumbles, recovered by the Giants. And they are able to convert. Brown to Wheatley. Wheatley will go in from 9 yards out after the great move. Giants down 28-20. So they're down 8. Here's your key play of the football game. Cardinals punting. Giants down 8. Have to have the ball. They got to have the ball. They can't hold on to the ball. Who's got it? He doesn't have it. They don't have it. We don't have it. Who's got it? Cardinals have it. And that was the key play because the Giants gave it up on the turnover. Dan Reeves, don't read lips. Final score, Cards win it by the score of 31-23. The Giants beat the Cards 16-8 in Week 10, but the Giants get even here. Just the Cards' 4th win against the Giants in the last 17 meetings. Dave Brown, 262 yards passing, not enough. Boomer Esiason, Chris, last week, of course, 522 yards passing, passed for 260 more in this one.
He needed like a half year off. So he's good for another 10 years, Billy. Who has it? We don't have it. We have it. Well, I'll tell you what, I was in your old stomping grounds, the Bay Area, of course, a week ago, and everything seemed fine. The weather was perfect. But then the Niners lose in overtime to Dallas. Steve Young gets knocked out with a concussion, his 2nd in 3 weeks. The San Francisco Giants trade Matt Williams. And the mayor, speaking on a phone from Paris, Mayor of San Francisco, Willie Brown, called Elvis Gerbach, quote, an embarrassment to humankind. What's going on out there? Well, what was going on? Yeah, well, the fans keep Elvis, trade Willie. Good thing he's got a few years till re-election. They love Elvis Gerbach playing in place of Steve Young. Well, Vinny Testaverde's had a big year, and he stunned the Niners early. 3rd play of the game, Michael Jackson. Down the sidelines, touchdown, 65 yards. The Ravens have, quote, the 7-0 lead.
You know, Michael Jackson runs a nice pattern, but Marquez Pope plays it perfectly, just gets into a back pedal so he can't make a play on the football, and Michael Jackson takes it into the end zone.
All right, so the work cut out for the Niners. Elvis Gerbach immediately over the middle of Brent Jones, back in the lineup, the tight end, 33 yards. That sets up a couple plays later, Terry Kirby running off right guard, 6-play, 74-yard drive, and Steve Young. Congratulations, Elvis. Let's get going. 10-7 Niners, first play of the 2nd quarter. Gerbach, yeah, why not throw it to Jerry Rice? Touchdown, 35 yards, 17-7, 49ers. Rice with 982 points. The all-time leading scorer for the Niners, passing Ray Wersching, the one-time kicker, 17-13 San Francisco at the half. Terry Kirby, though, it's a fumble. Anthony Pleasant picks it up, and it was not a pleasant play for San Francisco. He rumbled all the way down to the 3-yard line. Vinny Testaverde, hurt because of a rib injury, did not play. Come on, baby, light my Zaire. Eric Zaire from the 3. He's wide open. James Jones, the nose tackle, eligible. Ravens up for Mark Gibrota, 20-17. But here's Elvis to Terrell Owens, 15 yards. To Jerry Rice, 5 yards. 3rd and 8. Brent Jones, 13 yards. 5 different receivers hit by Gerback on this drive. Then, bar none, William Floyd, touchdown. 24-20 San Francisco, a 16-play drive that chewed up almost 9 minutes. Zaire tries to answer, but look, he's hit by Chris Dolman. And it's the trifecta. The sack, the forced fumble, and the touchdown.
Yeah, Zaire said his arm was going forward, but you can see right there clearly his arm going back. Nice double dip by Dolman for the touchdown.
Bill Walsh looking from above. George Seifert looking from below. Seifert with his 103rd win as a Niners coach, passing Walsh's old franchise record of 102. So Elvis Gerback, an embarrassment to humankind, 26 of 31 for 268 yards passing, a touchdown throwing, a touchdown running, and the Niners win it by 18. And I think, though, I mean, we make fun, and certainly the mayor has a lot of apologizing to do, Tommy, but it was a situation where the Dolphins and we'll talk about that in a minute. Dolphins and the Oilers. Well, we're having a good day. Let me tell you about Rasputin. Anyway, Oilers first play from scrimmage. Chris Chandler against Miami. Fakes, dumped Eddie George, the rookie, 17 yards. With that play, Bruce Matthews sets an Oiler record, 211 games played as an Oiler. Been a Pro Bowler so many years. What a fine player continues to be. Chandler on the razzle-dazzle. Sanders to Willie Davis, 13 yards. 7 plays later, 3rd and goal from the Dolphins, 18. Chandler to Derek Russell, 18-yard touchdown, 7-0 Boilers. On the ensuing kickoff, Kirby Dar fields it, but he's hit right dar by Rodney Thomas at the 13-yard line.
And a little isolation there to watch the great special teams work by Rodney Thomas, and look at him hustling downfield to make that hit on Dar.
Well, the Dolphins do nothing. The Oilers' next possession, Chandler to Frank Wycheck. Look at the big fella pull his way into the end zone. 14-0 Oilers.
Yeah, and if you're Louis Oliver, you're not waiting on the film session to see this again. Wycheck squares his body and just powers right over Oliver into the end zone.
Second quarter, Jimmy Johnson behind 14-0. Reggie Roby set to punt. It's blocked by Kirby Dar. Take that, Dar. The Dolphins ball at the Oilers' 30-yard line. 5 plays later. Marino to Irving Spikes. Touchdown. 14-7, a field goal makes it 14-10 at the half. We move on to the fourth quarter, 17-14, the Oilers. And Larry Izzo, the rookie linebacker, making a homecoming from Rice. Fake punt, returns it to the 41-yard line of the Oilers. Then Marino to Kareem Abdul-Jabbar to the goal line. He spins, but it's a fumble. But Chris Dishman recovers, and the Dolphins were going in. It's a touchback instead. The Oilers have saved the day. Next play, though, another rookie linebacker making a homecoming. Zach Thomas from Texas Tech into the end zone. Touchdown. Red Dolphins lead 20-17. Middle of the fourth quarter. First down, Chandler to Eddie George. The big fella, the Heisman Trophy winner, 24 yards, sets up a field goal by Del Greco. We're tied at 20. 2:22 to go in the game. 3rd and 13 from their own 24. They need 13 to get 19. Marino to O.J. McDuffie. 2 plays later, Marino to Troy Drayton. Turns it up past midfield, way past midfield. About a minute to go, and the Dolphins are knocking. Eventually sets up. Joe Nedney, good, 29 yards. So Jimmy Johnson, who had 40 friends and family from nearby Port Arthur, his hometown about 100 miles away, watched, and the Dolphins came from behind to beat the Oilers 23-20. Back to the 49ers. We got to get right to bump. Back to the 49ers, an impressive showing by Gerback. The mayor kind of galvanized the whole team in support.
And all the weapons came into play today for the 49ers.
All right. Dolphins win. Niners win. We'll be back with more on NFL Primetime. We got Bucks and Chargers. Late action. And we got game balls. You think Tom might give one to a Bronco?
Select today.
My game ball goes to the Colts' Eugene Daniel, the 13-year vet. 2 interceptions, 1 for a touchdown as the Colts beat the Jets, Tommy, 34-29.
And surprise, Billy, my game ball does go to a Bronco. Terrell Davis, 32 carries, 154 yards, 2 TDs. Carried the load for the Broncos today, got them at 10-1.
And an equal surprise, my game ball goes to a Buffalo Bill. Bruce Smith had a sack and a half. Among the leaders in football, again at 4 tackles. The defense just allowed the Bengals 224 yards. When we return, we've got the Bucks and Bulls, 2 of our favorites from the Murph.
It's the perfect way to make a call. He told Eric Metcalf, who phoned Wisconsin, who dialed Jerry Bob, spread the word to Curtis Martin. Bryce Pop shared the news with Brett Jones. Last but not least was their friend Chris Carter. 1-800-COLLECT was used on all the phones, and they saved a bunch. They saved a bunch. With 1-800-COLLECT, they saved a bunch.
Up to 44%.
NFL Primetime is brought to you by 1-800-COLLECT, the way to save on collect calls, and by Levi's Wide Leg Jeans. It's wide open.
The Bucks and Bolts from the Murph. Tampa Bay 1-17 all-time in California to throw in the 2 games in Seattle. 1-19 on the left coast. Stan Humphries to Charlie Jones. Gets past Dick Enberg. 63 yards. Touchdown. And the Chargers have the lead, and more of the same for the Bucks, right? 7-0 Bolts. Things got worse for the Buccaneers. Marvin Marshall back to receive a punt. It's defended! And the Chargers pick it up. Leonard Russell into the end zone. Eventually, 14-0 San Diego. 24 seconds left in the second quarter. The Bucks, they'll cut it to 14-10. Trent Dilfer. Tipped. Oh, and Courtney Hawkins hangs on despite being drilled by Rodney Harrison.
Yeah, and Courtney Hawkins knew right here, people closing in on him, and actually gets knocked right there, right where the first down marker was.
Dilfer takes a shot for the end zone at the end of the half. To Alvin Harper. Oh, Alvin, would you catch that ball? 14-13 at the half after the field goal by Husted. Third quarter, Stan Humphries picked off all the material about Chalet Dimre. Humphries' first interception in his last 152 passes. Then Tommy Barn. Oh, those tricky Bucks. It's a fake punt. Barnhart opens the barn door for 23 yards. And the Bucks in business. 1st and 5 from the San Diego 20. Dilfer looking for the end zone. Rodney Harrison was wide open. And it's 17-13 Chargers, but Humphries picked off by John Lynch. And the fans love it. Bucks take advantage. 1st and goal from the 1. Eric into the red zone. Touchdown. The Bucks missed a 2-point conversion, but they lead at 22-17. 6 seconds to go. Remember the Hail Mary at the end of the first half Monday night? Humphries down by 8. What do they do, Tom?
Knock it down.
Melvin Johnson knocks it down. And the Bucks have beaten the Bulls 25-17 like clockwork. They win out west every 16 years. They win in 1980, and they win in 1996. Don't forget Prime Monday and Monday Night Football. That's Packers at Cowboys. All that at 7:30 and then at 9. For Tom Jackson, Bill Pidto, and Rasputin, I'm Chris Berman. Thanks for watching Primetime. We have Sunday Night Football. It's the Vikings and the Raiders. Mike, Joe, and Mark on the call. Michael.
Chris, it is virtually a must-win game for 2 teams with waning hopes for the playoffs. The Minnesota Vikings and the Oakland Raiders on Sunday Night NFL. They can't deal with the damage of another direct hit. These are desperate times for the Silver and Black, who find themselves on the verge of playoff extinction. At a disappointing 4-6, Oakland is now in a must-win mode.